Hey guys, this is Melanie Hinds, your fastest Iraqi Dinar summary on the net. How are you doing? Hey, listen, we had, I think, 12 articles this morning, plus some screenshots that they sent us. And so I'm just going to get started and then we'll go into everybody else's. Alman Dwali stresses the importance of enhancing transparency to achieve financial and economic reform. Again, this is breaking news today. Please subscribe and tap the bell. He was just saying that that they have to monitor the allocation of federal revenues, and he emphasized the importance of enhancing transparency to achieve financial and economic reform. Well, you know, these digital systems that are AI run are very transparent, and so are the correspondent bank systems. That's why you're seeing a lot of the banks say, oh, we're shutting down because we're doing a transformation. Guys, that's going to make everything on this new AI banking system perfect. I even heard Elon talking about how he did it in 9 days, I think, an upgrade to the FBI security systems. And he said maybe that'll be our new God. So guys, these AI systems are taking over. So anyways, and he had that meeting at his house. The Kurdistan regional government announces an imminent agreement with Baghdad regarding internal revenues. Guys, this was a big article. It was talking about there's an intensive dialogue and 120 billion dinars are ready and we will send them whenever necessary. So that means the deal with Kurdistan is so close, and that's exciting. Also, the president of the republic stressed the need to take measures to prevent the exploitation of public funds in electoral propaganda. Again, they're making sure their elections go off without a hitch in November. And according to our intel sources, Joint Operations Command people on the ground, they said it's going to be a biometric voting system. Then there was an article that said they were also going to match it with paper votes. So it'll be the first time probably ever, I think, in the world that they've done a biometric vote. So we'll see what happens. Next article, under the patronage of the Prime Minister, the Securities and Commodities Authority announces tangible achievements in 4 areas. It was a really long article. They also signed a memorandum of understanding. So all those timestamps are up thanks to Sabrina. The next article was to facilitate trade and combat corruption. Customs begins linking airlines to the Escuda system. That was the system where they were educating people about the new systems and the new currencies that were coming. And they said they basically, it includes 350 airlines worldwide. So obviously, guys, they are positioned globally. The next article, National Security announces the dismantling of 2 drug networks in Baghdad and the arrest of 1 leader, Abu Nawari, and his 2 assistants. Guys, they're cracking down every way, shape, and form. And then there was a nice human interest story. We covered somebody that went from killing animals for fun to being a big supporter of the environment and the animals that are struggling because of environmental changes. That is a big agenda in the world, right? The next article was the Kurdistan regional government announced the imminent agreement with Baghdad regarding internal revenues. Why do I think I read that was twice? I went through this when I was live that I thought it was twice. It is twice. I'm not crazy. 1511, 1511. So that came up twice. So now I guess there was actually 11 articles. The next article was Rashid Bank launches renewable energy loans, which is really good. They are offering low interest rate loans to people that want to use renewable energies in their houses that they're building, because a lot of people are building houses now. And they're saying the loan amounts to 30 million dinars with the possibility of applying electronically via the AUR platform. Guys, they're able to do all these applications online. Everything, I mean, Iraq is just up and coming. They have the state-of-the-art banking system, and it's really cool. Now, here's the next article. Central Bank Governor, we are witnessing highly fluid external transfers of all major currencies. This was a good article. And transfer between Iraqi banks and all approved current correspondent banks. That means it's the systems are good to go. Do you remember the time when our guys on the ground were saying we were waiting for the other banks to catch up to what Iraq has done? So we're witnessing highly fluid external transfers of all major currencies. So I think this means we're right there. The next article was Rafidian Bank political agendas targeting the Iraqi banking system. Guys, politics is always looking to muck up everything when they want to improve it, but I don't think they're going to let it because it's already done. Everybody's approved of them. They've had the meetings with the auditors, which means the systems have been blessed. We're just making sure that the correspondent banks, again, and they just did that article that the things are running. So that means the other systems on the other side are just as up to date. So, because guys, when you move from a SWIFT system to a blockchain system, everybody has to change. And that's what we're talking about. Remember, God woke me up and said, blockchain, blockchain, blockchain. That's when I got my first wallet. I began to understand cryptocurrency. So guys, if you don't understand it, you can subscribe, tap the bell, and I'll help you with that. The last article was oil. The Baghdad International Energy Forum will feature the participation of prestigious internal organizations. Guys, they're being promoted as a global resource, and that's why they're having this forum September 6th through the 7th coming up. And so that's another sign that they're positioned internationally. Then they gave me a lot of articles that they couldn't get through the full articles, so they gave me the screenshots. So I'm going to try to go through those. I have to pull them up. There was a lot, and some of them I didn't even get to, so I'm going to go from here to a live stream at 2. I haven't decided whether to just do it for members or public, but this was Egypt plans to export electricity to Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. This was a great article because remember, Iraq used to depend on Iran for some electricity. Well, Egypt is planning to export electricity to Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. I went through that article in detail and those screenshots that came through. The next article was titled, hold on. It's harder because they're screenshots, like I said. Oh, the next article that I went through in my live stream this morning was the TIR convoy enhances commerce efficiency in Iraq. The TIR system is the railway system for the trucks. And they have this very good, secure system, sealed system. It's state of the art. Everything they're doing is state of the art. We can't even imagine it because we haven't seen systems like this ever. They've never been this technological, but Iraq has all the state-of-the-art systems. The next article was Hamas accepts new Gaza truce plan. Hamas official was stated. Now, this was a couple days old, but we just got it, so that means they're not letting it go through the system. And it was basically how Hamas has accepted a new ceasefire proposal for Gaza without requesting amendments. So we'll have to wait and see what happens and what the official story is and what we hear in the future. But I was happy to get that article because, again, peace is what everybody's after. I know that's what President Trump wants. Then the last article I was able to cover before I had to spend some time with my husband before he left for work. Trump says U.S. air support possible for Ukraine security guarantee. They're still working on it. We're waiting to see the finalities, and you can't trust the media on this. That was yesterday, last night, when he said that. So it's possible to help Ukraine get a security guarantee. Again, art of the deal. He's working on a deal to stop the killing. So that was a detailed article that I went through. The next article, yes, I went through this. Baghdad signs emergency electricity deal with Turkey's car power ship. Again, they're making deals with countries that are not Iran so they can get their electricity, make sure they secure it. It's the hottest time of the year in Iraq, and therefore some of their electricity still is spotty. They need the electricity up and running, especially if they're running these blockchain banking systems. I'm not going to say the other word because a lot of people are being confused about QFS. They are saying, oh, you have to have a card and you have to go to this website to get that. You do not have to go anywhere to get one of those, to get loaded up on that system. That system is going to be loaded by the banks, and you just have to decide how you're going to choose where you're going to go to exchange your currency. See my pinned comment down below. That's what God told me to tell you about. Or you can do the other way, which is go to some redemption center when you get some email. You call an 800 number, tell them what you have. You probably need to take your receipts and all that. But my strategy is you don't need your receipts unless it comes to paying taxes, but hopefully they'll get rid of the IRS. I've heard some things about they've already said they're going to get rid of it, but right now I'm planning on paying taxes like I have for all my life. So I think it's safer to plan, and then you have more money if you don't. Let's see. Public sector salaries, a massive fiscal burden as 10.5 million Iraqis depend on the state. I did not get into that article. We're going to talk about that at 2 p.m., which we're going to in about 10 minutes. I was trying to think if I should do it public or if I just shoot for my members. We have a few more articles that I didn't get to this morning. And then there's just a lot going on. There were a lot of screenshots that they sent us. Again, that's breaking news out of Iraq. So we're going to see what everybody else has said as of now, which is 1:49. I promised to get this summary done, and I had to run an errand, so it is what it is. So here's what everybody else is saying. I respect everybody. They don't always respect me, but, you know, it is what it is, you know. So here we go. Let's see. Bruce. The contract rate on Dinar, it's a contract that was made between the United States and Iraq. President Trump wants us to get the highest available rate we could get. So you're not going to get it at the bank. You'll only get it at the redemption centers. You decide. Again, I've got a pinned comment, but that's what their story is. Newshound Guru Jeff, we haven't heard from him in a while. A while ago, a member of one, oh, that's a part two. Part one of Jeff's story is, this video is from January 12th. It was a video where Laura Ingraham interviewed Donald Trump. This is an important video. It got critical evidence. President Trump, we have a lot of their money. We have 35 billion of their money right now. Talking about Iraqi dinar. Jeff said we have 35 billion, meaning US dollar, of their dinar. Trump just said we have 35 billion US worth of the dinar. Okay, this is part two. Well, a while ago, a member of our Dinar group submitted a form under the Freedom of Information Act to the United States Treasury. We asked them, how much dinar does U.S. Federal Reserve Treasury hold within its reserves? They responded and answered in excess of 20 trillion Iraqi dinar. In the video you saw where Trump answered, we have 35 billion U.S. worth of Iraqi dinar. Now let's do some math. 35 billion equals 41 trillion. The U.S. literally has half of their money supply. Another big chunk of it is held by other countries. Yes, we hold Iraqi dinar alongside with their U.S. dollars, our U.S. dollars. We have possession of their U.S. dollars to protect their oil dollars from greedy politicians along with lawsuits. But that's dollars, not dinars. Donald Trump clearly stated to Lori Ingraham, the U.S. will not leave until we get paid. So, and they're leaving. Some of our guys are saying they're being moved right now. So I don't know, but I'm glad Jeff doesn't that. This is why I love doing the big picture summaries of everybody, because you can learn something from everybody else. I've always been one to listen to what other people have to say and not judge it. Just, I'm sharing it with you. You can decide for yourself. You are adults. You are very smart. If you're tuning to my channel, you're a very smart person. We have the best family, though. If you ever feel alone or you feel exiled, just join our family. We have a lot of fun. Let's see, this just shifted. Mountain Goat, the Iraqi stock exchange has also seen a significant leap forward with the launch of an electronic trading platform by Carmel Brokerage and Zag Trader. This development is crucial for fostering greater transparency and embedding modern financial practices, aligning Iraq's capital markets with the global best practices. Yes, we had some big articles about what their stock exchange has just done. Mark Z, does the RV have anything to do with Iraq getting a digital dinar? Mark Z's response, actually, the digital dinar has a lot to do with Iraq having an RV. It's a mechanism for interbanking inside the bank that you can't see. It's a mechanism for interbanking, etc. They told us years ago the digital dinar is important for the reevaluation. Mark, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because I understand blockchain and I understand the digital systems and how financial systems have to, I understand at a different level. Nothing against anybody else. It's just I'm glad he clarified that. Then there's Frank 26. Mr. Sammy says there may be two rate changes. One to start with just over $1 to get folks to bring in those notes, and then the more real effective exchange rate through a float after that. Stick here. I'll tell you which one's the real effective exchange rate and when we should. If you want to know when you should call the banks and exchange your dinar, stay here. Subscribe, tap the bell. If you want to know how to exchange your dinar, if you're afraid of going to a center where everybody else is going, then you're going to want to stay here. If you don't want to sign a non-disclosure agreement, then you're going to want to stay here. And look at the pinned comment down below. Subscribe, tap the bell, guys. We'd love to have you as part of our family. It says, yeah, after we do an RI, then an RV will go on to the float, which is much more real. Guys, that's their perspective. I'm going to be live at 2. I might change it to public just so anybody can get on and ask a question. Oh, there's Nader, too. International coalitions start to leave today. They leave from Baghdad and they're leaving from Basra. That's good. It means Iraq can now take care of themselves. They don't need anybody else against ISIS or any organization. That's a good thing. I'm happy. It's a very positive thing. Militiaman, the banking sector is the first line of defense for any country's sovereignty. Currency is definitely part of that sovereignty. All the preparations they've talked about is gearing for what? They're talking about support for a redenomination, revaluation, and the application of a real effective exchange rate. I love you, Melissa Man. Melissa Z. I'm confusing them. Guys, I got to go. I got a 2 o'clock live I got to be on. But guys, I love you all. I hope you feel the love. And I hope you keep the faith that this thing is done. Talk to you later. Bye.